Alrighty,
welcome.
Let's go ahead and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Ready, begin.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, well, thank you for coming out here on a Saturday morning. So this is our third workshop. The first one we did on a Tuesday at 10 a.m.
And then the
second one we did was a Thursday at 7. So to try to get our working folks and
that are down
the hill coming up.
And now we're here on a
Saturday. So
hopefully we
were able to capture everyone. Raise your hand if you were at any of our other information meetings.
I recognize a lot of you.
So
even if you don't raise your hand.
Raise your hand if you watched our meetings online.
If you've watched the
videos that are already on there.
Okay. So,
just a quick housekeeping thing. The ladies' restroom is there. The men's restroom is over there. So if you need it, feel free.
We're gonna go through the slides,
and then at the end, if we haven't answered your questions with the presentation,
we're gonna have
public comment. But
here's the thing.
Because we are recording this and we do have a Zoom audience,
we want to make sure
everybody hears.
We're gonna ask you to come up and use the podium
for your questions or comments, just so everyone can hear you, and so the audio is captured.
Okay, so with that, I'm gonna let you go.
All right. So my name is David Davis. I'm with a firm called MSW Consultants. We are a solid waste consulting firm. And what we do is several things all related to solid waste and local jurisdictions. So we help cities set trash rates, negotiate trash contracts. We audit waste haulers, and we do financial and economic analysis related to solid waste. And we also help cities and counties and special districts comply with solid waste regulations. And something interesting about our firm is we only work for local governments. So we never work for solid waste companies or waste haulers because that would give us a conflict of interest. And then also today we have Brandon McGill, who's the operations manager for CRNR, in addition to Kim, who, among other things, is the waste and recycling coordinator for the district. And today, our first slide here is just kind of a table of contents of the slides that we'll be looking at today. I don't know if I can see. I know that's. I don't see it up here. Okay. So we're going to start by talking about the self-hauler program. We're going to talk about the proposed rates and a billing update. And then we're going to widen it out to a little bit more of the macro world. We're going to talk about the state's recycling regulations and their enforcement system. And we're going to talk about some just general trends in the industry that are kind of in addition to all this regulatory stuff. Talk a little bit about the solid waste landscape in San Bernardino County. And provide just a brief overview of the current agreement with CRNR, and then talk about some next steps. So next slide. Let's keep going. So we're going to start off on. So we're going to start with the issue that's on the forefront of most people's minds, and that is the Uniform Collection Service and the self-hauler program. So, like many people, when it comes to handling their trash, a lot of people think, well, why can't I just be left alone, do my own thing? Well, the state of California has precluded that as an option because they passed a law called SB 1383. They now require every business and every resident in the state to either subscribe for solid waste collection service, including organics and recyclables, or self-haul their organics and recyclables and solid waste. So those are the only two options that the state of California has given all of its residents. And what the state has done is they've put that enforcement responsibility onto all the local jurisdictions, including the Community Services District. So as a result, just want to talk about what your system is now. Right now, everybody gets a dump card, and they pay for that through their tax roll. And that entitles everybody to about 64 visits to the transfer station. And that offsets the disposal cost that is incurred by CRNR. The county operates the transfer station through a private contractor named Athens. And soon they're going to require people that bring their self-haul material to the transfer station. They're going to require that it is brought source separated. So you're not going to be able to, not right now, but in the near future, you're going to have to bring your recyclables separate from your trash and your organics separate from your trash and recyclables. And that's because of the law that California has passed. So as far as the self-hauler program, the reason why you need a self-hauler program is because the state requires that all residents either have a 3-container collection system or they self-haul their recyclables. And the state is going to audit the community services district to make sure that the district is making sure that that's happened. So what that requires the district to do is to set up a program that make sure that it's verifiable, so that when somebody says, yes, I've decided to self-haul instead of subscribing to the uniform collection program, that they are in fact doing that. And it's not that the district doesn't trust anybody, it's just that they're going to be audited in turn by the state, and they're going to have to be able to demonstrate that they are in fact proving that people that designate as self-haulers are actually self-hauling. So all the details of the self-hauler program have not been worked out, but the general outlines are like this. There's going to be an application that's be provided to all residents, and on that application form, you're going to be able to designate: do you want to participate in the uniform collection service? And if you do, you can designate how many containers you want to have, or if you want to have a bin, you can designate that on that form. If you don't want to participate in the uniform collection service, you have to say, I'm going to self-haul. And as part of self-hauling, you're going to have to agree that you're going to have to keep the receipts that you get when you go to the transfer station. And I know that's a lot of work, but it's something that the state of California is requiring the district to do. So the district is going to try and make that as efficient as possible, right? Because there's a lot of record keeping involved. But those are the basic outlines of the self-haul program. Now on the uniform collection program, there's an additional cost because right now what's happening is that everybody has two carts, and those are for trash. And one truck comes to every house for a single truck trip and picks up those 2 trash cans. What the state is requiring the district to do is implement a program where each resident has if they don't self-haul, they're going to have a 3-cart system, and one of those carts is trash, one is recyclables, and one is organics. And each of those containers is picked up with a separate truck. So now, because CR&R is making one trip to every home, they're going to be required by the state and by the district to make 3 trips to every home to pick up each of those containers. And the cost of that is dependent on how many people subscribe. So right now, about 2/3 of the residents in the district participate in that. If those continue, their fixed costs have to be allocated over a certain number of units. So the more people that participate, that's going to reduce the lower cost per unit. So CR&R doesn't really know how many people are going to participate in that program and how many people are going to self-haul. So what they've done is they've said, okay, we're going to freeze the rates as of July 1st, 2023. So even though they would have been entitled to a contractually prescribed CPI adjustment as of July 1st, they've said no, we're just going to freeze the rates for the single-family residential. We're going to freeze those rates for a year. We're going to see how many people subscribe, and then based on the amount of people that subscribe, we're going to run the numbers and see what our average cost is per unit. And then based on that, after a year, then they'll set the rates, along with discussions with the district staff. They're going to set the rates for the single-family. Now, a lot of customers have a 2-yard bin. Those rates are going up July 1st. And you can see on the next slide what the rates are for the most common levels of service. So the picture at the top shows an example of what most people will have. So the blue lid container is going to be for the recyclables, green for organics, and black for trash. And then if you want, you can have additional carts for an additional cost. And then I think you can read this. So the three-card system right now is $30.98 a month.
If you want to get
additional cards, you can get 2 additional cards for $45 a month.
And then if you want
to get a bin, that bin will come with an organics cart and a recycle cart, and that cost will be $121.20.
So the next slide. Can you not laugh?
When I'm talking?
I appreciate it.
No.
So
CRNR will continue to bill all the services.
And
now CRNR, what they've done is they've localized their customer service. So it used to be you'd call down to Stanton, and somebody would answer the phone down there. So now we've got a couple customer service representatives up here locally that are dedicated to answering your questions.
And then this
service, what's going to happen is
it's going to get
rolled out in July. So CRNR is going to distribute all the containers in July, but they're not going to actually start sorting the material until January.
So as a
result, everybody will have those containers, but they won't be picked up by the separate trucks like I described.
So what you're going to see
is that you may come down the street, you may have a blue cart with recyclables, but they may put it temporarily, initially, in the trash truck just to get all the containers distributed by July 1st.
Next slide. Starting July
1st is when the rates will go up. All right.
And then
also by that time we'll have a better picture
of the
self-haul program.
Okay.
All right, let me talk a little bit. That's about the local
situation.
But let me talk about what's going on in the state.
So right now,
there's mainly
4 laws
that dictate solid waste collection in California. 8939 has been around for a long time. It's been around since 1989.
And then
there's two laws that came out about 10 years ago that require people to recycle their commercial waste, so their commercial recyclables and commercial organics.
But the law that
is really driving all of this is SB 1383, and this was passed in 2016, and it became effective in January of 2022.
And there's two
main goals, and basically they're trying to reduce the amount of organics that are going into the landfill,
and they're also
trying to reduce the amount of edible food that's wasted.
And the enforcement
goes on local jurisdictions in 2022.
And
I'm going to skip over this. Jurisdiction responsibilities. Let's go to that real quick.
So here's
basically the 6 areas that SB 1383 addresses. First of all, every city has to provide an organics collection system. They have to arrange for edible food recovery. They have to conduct extensive outreach and education. They have to purchase organics content recyclable products. They have to make sure that they have adequate capacity to take that material, and they do have to do extensive record keeping and reporting
to Cal
Recycle.
So
if
the way Cal
Recycle
enforces
this law is every 4 years they do something called a compliance evaluation of every city,
and they take a
look at something called an implementation record, and they look at all the record keeping that the local jurisdiction has done in order to prove that they're doing this. And one of the things that they're going to be looking at is the self-haul program and the receipts that people are keeping for their trips to the transfer station. Under a normal circumstance, if everything's in good shape, then they're good to go. But if there's things that are deficient, then they can issue a notice of violation. And then if they don't fix those things within 90 days, they can do something called a corrective action plan.
And the penalty
amounts are pretty significant. They can go from $500 a day for minor infractions to up to $10,000 a day for cities that are what they call recalcitrant and just don't even want to participate at all.
Now, what's
interesting about this is that the state gave the city, all cities a chance to have like a 1-year grace period if they would fill out something called a notice of intent to comply. And the district elected to take that route, and as a result of doing that, the Cal Recycle, or the state of California, gave them a compliance action plan. And what that does is it's a whole laundry list of things to do that they have to get done by certain deadlines. And a lot of the things on that list are the things that we're talking about today: the uniform collection, the self-haul program. But it also includes a lot of other things that CR&R is going to have to do that it didn't have to do before, specifically contamination monitoring, extensive outreach, procurement, all the things that are in SB 1383 that are driving up these costs. So as a result of that, one of the things that they have to do is update the franchise agreement and implement the uniform collection program. And then just on the industry trends, in addition to all of these regulatory requirements that are coming down the road, the industry itself is still experiencing a lot of things that are creating upward pressure on prices. You may have heard a few years ago that China stopped accepting recyclable materials, so that reduced the market value of recyclables that haulers use to offset their costs. So as a result, that puts upward pressure on prices. And the cost of these new regulations, and then taking these recyclable materials and organic materials to new facilities that didn't exist 3 or 4 years ago, is driving up the cost. The other thing is that there's a driver shortage. It's very difficult for some reason. It's a kind of a cultural thing where you don't have as many 20-year-olds that are willing to drive a trash truck. And a lot of the trash truck drivers are people that are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s that are retiring out, and it's difficult for all trash companies to hire and retain new drivers. The other thing is that as a result of the pandemic, we had some supply chain shortages. The cost of steel has gone up. So for example, you see a 3-yard bin out behind a gas station maybe 3 or 4 years ago that cost $500. Now they cost about $900. So these are just things that are happening in the industry that are kind of in addition to all this regulatory issues that are going on. So as I mentioned, the city does have a corrective action plan with the city. With the state. Cal Recycle has issued that, and that's something that they're very serious about. It's a legal document, and I think it's available if anybody wants to take a look at it. But it's got a big laundry list of things for the district to do. And then just about the solid waste landscape, you may know that San Bernardino County owns all the landfills, but it has a contract with a private operator named Athens to operate those landfills and transfer stations. So that's why you see when you go out to the dump, it's operated by a company called Athens Services. And as I mentioned, everybody is entitled to about 65 uses of their dump card, and that covers CR&R's disposal expense. And as far as the history of the contract with CR&R, they took it over from the county in 2011. The agreement was restated and amended in 2019 and amended again in 2022. And we're currently in the process of implementing new rates and services. So when these rates get established, it'll come in the form of an amendment to CR&R's agreement. And then just as far as the key services are they have the exclusive right to provide single family and commercial service in the city. It's got a 10-year term, a 10-year rolling term, and let me just go one more slide. If you go to the key terms, one more slide, please. Yeah. There's a franchise fee. So CR&R remits to the city 10% of all the receipts that they collect in the district. There's an annual rate adjustment method that entails for the residential. It's based on a change in the CPI, and that's the one that I mentioned that CR&R waived that for July 1st of 2023. On the commercial side, it includes a CPI plus the cost of the landfill. And all agreements include a requirement that the district consider any extraordinary costs. So when something happens that's unusual, that nobody expected at the beginning of the agreement, the company has the right to come back and ask for a cost increase, and that's kind of what's happening here. Even though they've had the agreement for a long time, they're able to come back and say, hey, listen, nobody saw this SB 1383 coming, and to do all these things that are required to keep the district in compliance, it's going to increase our cost, right? So instead of one truck trip to every home, we're going to have to make 3 truck trips to every home. So that is what's known as an extraordinary cost increase, and that way, under the contract, they are entitled to be reimbursed for that additional cost. The contract also has pretty significant reporting requirements and liquidated damages for things where they fall short. The district is able to assess penalties on them. So as far as the next steps go, we're currently the negotiation part for now has been done, where CRNR has agreed to keep the rates flat as of July 1st. But towards the end of the next fiscal year, the district and CRNR are going to have to sit down and take a look and see what the participation rate has been. If it's gone up from the 2/3 that it is now, that will make it so that the unit cost is less, and if there's fewer people that are subscribed to the Uniform Collection Service, that's going to put upward pressure on the cost per unit. So last month, the district sent out a notice that you all should have received, and it shows what the changes are in the commercial rates. Even though the residential rates didn't change, they still included those residential rates on the notice, just so that everybody knew what the rates were. There's going to be a public hearing on June 14th to consider those rates, and there's two things that have to happen in order for the rates to be approved. One is that there have to be less than 50% of the people that receive the notice would protest. So if more than 50% of the people protest the rates, then the rates will not go into effect. But if fewer than 50% of the people protest to that, and the board approves the rates, then the rates will go into effect on July 1st. And that process, that Prop 218 process, is probably going to have to be done again as of July 1st of 2024 in order to approve the new rates for the Uniform Collection Service.
And then as far as
next steps go,
there's been an
informational flyer that was sent out with the Prop 218 notice that talks all about the self-haul program and the Uniform Collection Program. And CRNRs, including inserts in their invoices. The district has made this available on social media and their website, and also in their virtual newsletter. And again, the direct mail from the district was in the form of that Prop 218 notice and that brochure that came with the Prop 218 notice.
And then lastly,
on manure, there's a lot of people with horses in the district. And the thing about manure is that if you just put a little bit of it into the system, the processing facilities can handle just a little bit. But if you put a lot in there, it spoils the recipe, that it makes it not possible to process that mix of organics and food and a large amount of manure. So the district is still trying to figure that out. It hasn't completely decided where that material is going to be taken. But in the meantime, you can compost that, and I think there'll be information coming in the future about what to do with manure. So that's the end of the presentation. I appreciate you listening to me, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, so real quickly, I just want to highlight some things because we went kind of quick through there.
Raise your hand if you're a self-hauler.
You take your trash to the dump.
Okay.
Good news. You get to do that. There's not going to be a charge for continuing to do that. You're just going to pay your
taxes,
right? Which pays for that dump card. And for now, the county has indicated they're going to keep the dump card. There's no rate increase for that they've notified us of on the horizon. No.
The county
manages the dump card. The county has not indicated that they're going to make any changes to the dump card. So the dump card is a completely county-managed process because they own the transfer station.
So in theory,
the what you're paying on your taxes is paying for your disposal cost when you go to the transfer station. So as long as you're not overweight, you don't pay anything there, right?
And so you get to
go. Hold on. I'm not going to take questions just yet, and we have a process for doing this. Just a minute.
And again,
if you talk from the audience, we can't record it on Zoom, and our Zoom audience can't hear you.
Okay, so just hold on.
Just hold on, please.
Hold on.
We're gonna get to everybody. I swear. If we have to stay here all day, we will get everybody.
So now I lost my
train of thought. Dump card. It's like $84 a year, right? On your tax rolls. You can go use it at the dump 64 times a year. They don't charge you unless you're overweight or you bring something that's not allowed. Right?
That's gonna stay
exactly the same.
However,
the county operates the transfer station, and the county has to comply with SB 1383, so that organics recycling law,
the same
as we do.
So they're going
to have to have three different drop-off points
at the transfer station,
so you can put your recyclables in one pile, your green stuff in one pile, and your trash in another pile.
I don't know exactly how they're going to do that.
They haven't figured it out yet.
But they're going to be doing
the same for all of the county unincorporated areas. Okay.
Now, if you have
CR&R collection service,
the 3-can
service is not going to go up.
So right now you have 2 cans that are trash.
You're going to pay the exact same amount for this next year.
And you're going to have 3 cans.
The state requires that you dispose of your organics separately now.
So you're
going to have to put your recycling in one,
your trash in the
other, and anything that could be composted, which we'll send you a list of that in the mail.
In the green can.
But it's the same
rate.
If you want to add extra services, you can. And what I'm telling people now is if you have a dumpster who has dumpsters,
raise your hands.
You might not need it anymore because you might be able to get the 3-can and maybe an extra recycling
or an extra
trash, and you might actually save some money.
Because
what is that, $90-something right now?
So you could
probably get it down to $45 a month and have similar
disposal
quantities.
So that's just
something you're going to look at when we send out the application
for you
to just tell us exactly what service you want.
Of course, you can still keep your service
if you want to as well.
So really,
the only thing that is changing is if you self-haul.
You do have to
tell me one time that you're self-hauling, just so I have it tracked. So when the state asks me for that, I can tell them how many self-haulers I have.
It's going to be a very easy form.
It's going to be mailed out to you, or you can come to the office and do it, or you can do it online.
So that's one.
Two,
keep your
receipts just in case we ask you for them, so we know that you went.
And that's it.
And
then whatever the
county makes you do as far as drop off there,
then
that's up to them. That's not us.
And if
you're a resident,
you're just going to have to separate your trash.
I don't know if you've ever lived anywhere else, but if you've lived in a city before, they've been doing this since the 80s and the 90s.
Okay.
Now,
for CR&R, they do have to do a certain number of audits just to make sure everybody is source separating. There's all sorts of things regulatory that we have to do, but I want to remind you that we are very small. It's Linda and I that are going to be talking with you about anything, and we're nice, normal, reasonable people, and we understand what happens out here. And so we're going to work with you on helping you do what the state is requiring us to do. The district did not want to do this. We fought it. We continue to fight it. I just met with our brand new assemblyman who is in Pasadena because we got redistricted down there, and he actually voted for this and explained to them how the state, when they pass these sweeping legislation, they don't care about people who live in rural communities, and they think that we should do the exact same thing that San Francisco and Los Angeles are doing. And so I don't know if you've been to our first community information meeting, but at that point we were looking at a $20 a month increase. We were going to have a permit to self-haul. You weren't going to be able to self-haul everything. And we weren't even sure self-haul would be allowed per cow recycle. And so we've been working with them to get to this point to where not a lot is changing at this time. So it's been a lot of work. We're not going to make everybody happy. The state's very regulatory on everything now. And we just have to do our best to minimize the impact, and that's what we've done. So if anybody has a comment or a question, come up and use the podium. Just make sure you turn on the microphone. And we're going to start with our in-person first. Go ahead. You can just come on up. You can form a line.
My name is Edward Etchapar. I've been up in the high desert since 1976. Okay. I have a dumpster. I have 2 homes up here. I self-haul. I go to dumpster. You're telling me that I pay my taxes for a dump card. I have to keep my receipts. You're saying there's not a mechanism when they go to the dump and they scan my card? Because I guarantee you, I'm not going to be able to save my receipts to prove what I have done and what I haven't done. That's my first complaint about
Let me address that so I don't forget it. You're preaching to the choir here because I don't understand. There's already a barcode on the dump pass, right? And so every time I meet with the county, and again, they operate the dump, not us, so don't yell at me about this.
I'm not yelling at you.
Yeah. I don't know why they can't adopt a simple scanner that makes a report, so then I can just say, hey, Brandon, give me the list of people who signed up for self-hauling, right? And then compare it to who actually went. It should be that easy. I'm still trying. I have a meeting with our county supervisor to see if we can get the solid waste staff at the county into the modern era to do that tracking, because right now what they're tracking is not that. So they're just tracking usage, but it's not in a usable form. It's a very old system. So you have to actually key in each parcel to get that data out. And the last time I asked for that data, it took them 3 months to get it to me.
Okay.
So we're working on that. I'm hoping we don't have to keep receipts. And if we don't have to keep receipts, we'll let you know. But for now, just keep your receipts, please, just in case we need them.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah. Okay,
it's a reality. I'm going to tell you right now, there's no way I'm keeping my receipts.
Okay.
I could barely keep my receipts for the IRS.
And again, it's me, it's Linda. I'm going to be the one calling you, and you're going to be like, Kim, I went to the dump. I'm sorry, I lost my receipt. I'll be like, okay, I believe you. I'm not an unreasonable person. And then I can update my report, and then I'm done, okay? We're talking about normal people that live here, that understand the way of life, and we just have to do our record keeping for Cow Recycle.
Okay, then my next thing is, we have the state requiring us to conserve energy. Now they're going to put 2 other trucks in the system. So they're talking through.
Yes, we've
Can I
told
finish,
them
please?
this. Yeah, we've told them this.
Can I finish?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we keep telling them this, but they keep doing it. So, once again, I've seen changes go. I have a dumpster so I can make sure I pick up my trash, and I pick up neighborhood trash. We got homeless all over the place with leave trash. They don't recycle. They don't put them in different areas for to pick up. So now, why am I going to pay for the 3-can system, have my dumpster, so I take it back, 2 cans and my dumpster, and pay more for my canister and try to do the community a service by picking up trash as I go to put in there? So I'm going to go to the 3 system, or I might just forget and do both my places self-haul. But all this is a money grab. They want us to jump through all these hoops, and they talk through one end, and they do the other end. We're not San Francisco. We're not LA, where they could do that. And then, like you said, for the first year, they're going to have one truck pick all that up. What happened to the recycles when they used to take it to a facility and they recycled that? That wasn't good enough because the companies were saying, hey, it's going to cost this. All the state wants is our money. They don't want to haul the trash. That's my opinion. Now, is this going to go to a mandatory trash pickup for every parcel like Hesperia, Apple Valley?
That's what we're talking about today.
Your mandatory compliance is you self-haul and you tell us you're self-hauling, or you get service through CR, which is what you're doing now.
But we shouldn't have to tell you. We pay it on our taxes.
Cow
Recycle
is requiring
record keeping that has
First
this.
of all, don't
yell at me.
I am not yelling at you.
I'm not a
representative of the state.
I'm trying to have a conversation. I feel that I'm being hostile to you. I think you have you need to calm down yourself. I am not yelling at you. I'm just trying to ask some questions. So in other words, basically, since the state requires us to do what we need to do, we should just shut up and not complain. So why even have a meeting here if all we're going to be is accused of being hostile to the staff? I thought I was very respectful. You're the one saying I was yelling at you.
I agree with her. I think your tone's a little strident.
I do think
that, yes.
I agree with her.
I agree with her.
I think most people here do too.
The problem is
It's a 50-50. People who don't know you, I'm trying to talk loud so everybody can do it. All I'm trying to say is, it seems like we're here, and you guys are here to pacify us and make us do more than what is needed to do. The state charges us money to have a dump card. Then they say we have to keep our receipts. That's impossible to do. You think it might be, but it's not. We pay recycling for our bottles and cans. They close all those systems down. It's very hard to recycle your bottles.
there's one right behind the gym. Bart.
Yeah, they just opened that one up.
Yeah.
But you used to be able to go a lot of places. You can't
That's
do
the
that.
state. That's the state again.
I understand, because the state just wants the money and they don't want to pay to have the system right.
Agreed. So we're all on the same page. Kim's been fighting it for years.
You got attorneys doing this or no?
Yeah, there's.
First of all, I want to get back to using the podium. I would like to be respectful of everybody's time. Again, we can't hear it. It won't be recorded if you don't use the microphone, and we have people in the audience that won't hear you in person if you don't use the microphone. So if we could make sure we try to get to everybody that's in the room that wants to yell, comment, or ask questions.
I don't believe anybody wants to yell. We just want to be heard what's going on, and not be accusing of being
And getting answers.
just getting answers. My thing is, I think, and you said we could be here as long as we want. It takes all day. Now you're saying that we should.
I want to respect everybody in the room's time, and more than you have questions.
I understand. That's why we could be here all day. Because that's what you said. So now you're contradicting yourself?
Oh my God.
Okay.
You can say whatever you want. Say whatever you want.
Just go ahead, put your head in the sand and blame the state. And there's nothing we could do. We're just like zombies and just pay the bill. That's what you're telling me. There's nothing we could do. Thank you very much for your time. This meeting is very important.
All right. So
let me just address a couple of things you just said.
We're on your side.
We did not want to do any of this.
Originally,
we thought we were going to be having to have.
Originally, we
thought that we were going to have
everybody
have
curbside
collection service, and we did work with PowerCycle to keep the self-haul option. We're not charging you for it. Unfortunately for now, because we don't operate the transfer station and we can't implement modern technology, you have to keep your receipts. I'm very sorry that you have to do that.
I didn't want
anybody to do that. I never ever thought when I started working here 10 years ago that we would be having to have this conversation about trash.
But again,
the state doesn't care. They don't care about rural communities.
It is what it
is. It is what it is. You see it with every other regulation that's coming down from the state.
All right, go ahead.
Hi,
nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again. I just wanted to say that what I'm getting sitting in the audience listening to this gentleman and everybody else talking is that it's not hostility toward you. It is so frustrating because I am so frustrated with what the state is asking me as a person to do. So I know it's hard to have people raise their voices and get very frustrated. But I don't think we're angry at you.
Thank you.
Correct.
Just a couple
little questions.
My name's Irene Gentry, and
what was
the first day you said that I could expect the truck
at
my driveway?
I think they said,
but I didn't write it down.
Do you have service already?
No. We haul
now, but we're not going to haul.
Oh yeah. So you'll get some forms in the mail starting in June or July, and then you'll turn those in, and then Brandon here, it's him. It's Brandon.
He'll reach out to you
and
let you know when your service will start.
Okay.
And then another thing,
when we go
to the pickup service, will they take the fee off of our taxes if we're not self-hauling?
Yeah, that's a common question. So the rate that right now for residential trash, if CR&R picks up your trash and takes it to the dump, they don't have to pay the disposal component, right? So if it's a residential line, they go to the transfer station, drop it off, and they're not charged for it, and that's offset in the rate. If they were charged for that, the rates would be higher. The county's looking at about $50 a month just right in Oak Hills.
But like if you are not going to self-haul anymore, and you don't need a dump card, will they take that fee off of your taxes?
No, because they use that fee to offset the disposal component of the collection rate. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
My name is Mary Lou Flores Kane, and my son and I are self-haulers. We just came back. That's why he's in the truck. We just came back from hauling our own trash. I have a question. All of our situations are different. I understand that. I'm a widow, and my son lives with me. Not me. In my mobile home. I have two. I own one parcel. But apparently, my property is 5 acres. Apparently, and I have a dump card, which I want to keep desperately because I was forced to go back to work, and I don't make a whole lot. My husband recently passed. So my son was recently sent a bill stating that he will have to get CR&R. I don't know why. I don't know if it's CR&R or the water department that handles the dump cards or the trash. But he is living on my 5 acres, my property, my one parcel. So come July, when all of this transpires and he gets a bill, where would I dispute that?
Okay, yeah.
So the
notice that went out
to
anybody.
So we overmailed.
We wanted to make sure everybody got the notice. So we mailed Sheep Creek Water customers. We mailed our customers. We mailed all existing CR&R customers, whether they were an owner or a tenant.
And then we
also mailed off of the tax rolls. So I pulled an entire parcel list from the county tax rolls of improved parcels.
And then mailed
all owners of record. So some parcels, and it sounds like yours, might have received duplicate mailers.
Well, I never got any bills, but
it's not a bill. No one should have received a bill. You might have received your tax bill from the county.
If you want to
bring it in or email it to me, I can try to sort it out. But we didn't bill anybody.
Okay. Is your email available?
Linda over at the front can give it to you.
Okay. And he had some questions, but like I say, he's out there waiting. Because that I know came from the water company itself. And it was named in his, and it was put in his. I'm sorry, and it was put in his name. Now I had to get two different water systems. Because before my husband passed, we were building a house, and I had no other choice but to continue building that house. So our water meters are different. He's helping me out by paying his own water. But it's still one parcel, so he shouldn't be having to pay. And we dump together.
So trash is handled by parcel. Water's a little different because, depending on the structure size, they have to have their own meters. But
trash will be
per parcel, so you'll just have, if you want to have CR&R, it's just one service. But you can still self-haul. Yeah.
You can still
self-haul. You're still going to get your dump card.
Okay.
And you can do it together.
Yeah.
It's totally fine.
Well, I appreciate that. And I will get your
Linda.
Linda, raise your hand.
She'll write it down.
She'll write it down for you.
And lots of luck to
lots
the
of luck to the
self-haulers.
self-haulers. It's really important. I know at my age, it's really difficult.
And
Everyone has their own situation. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Hi, good morning. My question was regarding the South Hall, and I think you answered the question. I just want to confirm. Because originally the documentation that came.
Hi, everybody.
My name's Catalina.
Originally,
you had stated in your documentation that there would be an application process and fee that self-haulers would have to pay. Is that still the case, or is that no longer the case?
No permit required, no fee. The only thing we need is one time for you just to fill out your information and check a box saying you're a self-haul. So CR&R can have a record of it, and he can give me a list of self-haulers every year.
So you're gonna distribute the cans regardless, right?
Only if you want to have service with CR&R.
Okay, so for self-haulers, we can still use whatever means we've been using that's still in compliance.
Correct.
Okay, and we're still getting our card.
Okay,
Next question is, you had mentioned if we can have at least 50%
or more
present at the next meeting. I'm not sure if everybody heard that clearly.
To protest
the rate hikes
that they wouldn't happen.
Is that correct?
I can talk about
Yeah.
that. So what the district has to go through, which is what every district has to do, is there's a part of the state constitution, and they call it Prop 218. It's in Article 13 of our state constitution. And what it does is it requires all local governments, when they raise property-related fees, that they go through, in this case, what they call a majority protest. And two things have to happen.
So the local government has to issue notices to everybody that could be affected by the fee increase.
And then they have to wait
45 days.
And in
that notice, they have to show what all the fees are going to be. And that's what was included in the mailer.
And
what the law says is that if more than 50% of the people that receive that mailer protest that, then it automatically stops.
And to be honest, that doesn't usually happen,
right?
You send out
17,000,
you'd have to get
half of 17,000. Yeah, and that's pretty difficult to do. So that doesn't. But then the next thing that happens is the elected officials have to approve it. So if those two things happen, then the new rates will go into effect. So that's just what the law is.
Does that make sense?
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
And if I could just add one thing. The protest is for the rate, not for the service.
I understand. I'm clearly understanding that. It's not because of the service. I get that the state is saying this is what you have to do now.
In compliance with
everybody else in California.
My question
was regarding the fees.
So
when you say 50% or more, does that mean 50% or more people present?
Or can
we have people sign petitions and present them at the next meeting?
Yeah, so in the notice that went out, it says you can send in a letter to our office. Write a letter. Or you could attend the meeting in person, and that counts as a protest. Or you can even drop off a letter during the meeting until the hearing is closed.
My next question. You mentioned that process here. Has that process been mailed out to the homeowners and the residents, the renters, the whoever in the entire county, that if we choose to protest, this is the form of doing it? Other than in that tiny little writing at the bottom of that one mailer.
So it was all in that mailing. It went out to a little over 17,000.
I saw that, but is there anything in a bigger format, something bigger? Because I've heard a few people mention, like everything, we see something coming, and it's something we think it's like we got to jump on it. It's just one more thing we toss in the trash.
So is there
anything going out regarding that to make our community more aware of what's going on with these prices?
So the notice of public hearing will be also published on our website and in the newspaper.
Next question. We just got wind of this last month. I think everybody got their mailers at the beginning of this month regarding this information that you were all going to start implementing everything July 1st. How long has this been in the works behind the scenes for the water company and CR&R?
And we're just not getting
we're not just being told.
We've been working on this. Well, we've been fighting it for many years, and then when the final regulations and it looked like what we had to do came down, it's been a little over a year when we started our ordinance process and all of that. Are you one of our water customers or Sheep Creek?
I'm yours.
Okay, so we've been putting some information in our bills plus our website, but if you've attended our first community information, a lot has changed, our information meeting, a lot has changed from that time until now because we're still negotiating with the state, we were negotiating
negotiating with the hauler. We're having supply chain issues still with getting trucks, containers, staff. And so, you know, some of these aren't like hard and fast dates. So we say July 1, that's what we have on record with the state, but we know it's going to take us a while to implement this.
No, I get that. No, I get that. But my question is, why weren't we made aware of it before this recent? I mean, we're just finding out about it, and you said that this has been in the works for years, and that some of the finalized information has been almost a year. Why are we just finding out now, a month or a month and a half before you're saying, hey, this is what we're going to do? And I get that it's not you saying that. I get that this is the state telling you to tell us that this is going to happen.
As far as public information, I wish there was a way where I could just zap into your brains that this is happening, especially a lot of our positive, fun-free events. We put so much stuff in our bills because it's very cost-effective to do that way, but people just throw it away. They don't even look at it. We did a whole separate postcard mailer. I don't know if any of you got that. It was about our first meeting, and that had the QR code that leads you to our website for all of this information, also our contact information. So if you're not getting it, I apologize. We do have issues. Post office out here. I don't know.
Oh yes, we do. Because I'm getting mail from other people for the last 10 years.
We get like hundreds of return mail every month for addresses we know are correct, that they just aren't delivering. And we get a ton of other people's mail in our box.
So I have another question. For those of us that don't have such an easy time getting to these meetings, and I'm not just speaking for myself, I'm sure there's others. Is there going to be a way to represent ourselves through a Zoom link? Because most people have phones, and that's the way you can attend the meeting without actually physically being here and voice your vote, whether you're against it or not.
So our Prop 218 hearing not next Wednesday, June 14th will be on Zoom. All of our meetings have been on Zoom for years now, so you can participate remotely. This meeting right now is on Zoom. Our other meetings were on Zoom, and you can watch the recordings on our website. And we also have a YouTube page, so you can watch our live streams if you don't feel like you need to participate. So this has all been out there. I just don't know how to tell people to do it. I don't know. It was on the postcard. Yeah.
Okay, Juana, thank you for your time. So I'm just going to make one last comment. As a community, we need to figure out how we're going to get 50 or more people to vote against this, or to complain, or to reject what's being done to us. So maybe that's something we can figure out with our representatives on how we can do that.
Correct.
Because I think it seems like we're double paying. I know that seems kind of weird, but we're paying our taxes to get a service. But now we're going to have to pay in addition to that to still have that same service. That's just a comment. I don't expect you to respond. Thank you.
Hello. My name's Zane Bauer. I just want to say it was pretty informative meeting. Changed a lot of things. I thought. I want to thank you. I'm opting out of this. We'll come fill out the paperwork. And I have a question for the gentleman over there that said they're going to bring trash cans. June 1st or July 1st?
Yeah, so it takes a little while to get all these carts distributed. So they're going to add two new carts to all the people that decide to subscribe. So they're going to add a green waste container and a recycling container. And then eventually they're going to pick up one of your current trash containers. So that you're going to end up with one of each, the green, the blue, and the black. Unfortunately, for about 6 months, they're not going to be sorting that material. And this is something that drives people crazy, is when they see recyclables get put in the trash truck. But unfortunately, as we phase this in, you are going to be seeing that for the first 6 months, because they're going to get the material off the street and into essentially a landfill, right? But starting January 1st, then they are going to take that material to the place that it belongs. So just unfortunately, for the first 6 months, you're going to have this transition period where everybody's going to have the equipment to do the source separation, but the source separation is not really going to start until January 1st. And I don't like that. I don't think anybody likes it. But just because of the way that we're rolling this out, that's just the way it's got to be for the first 6 months.
Now I'm opting out.
Yeah, it won't affect you.
I'm going to do my own. haul.
Yeah.
So, but they're gonna bring the trash cans to my
No.
house.
No, only if you ask them to. Only if you ask them to.
Because I'll become dog toys in my house.
No, no one's getting trash cans if they don't want them.
Yeah.
We just said there will be a form. You check the box. I don't want trash cans. I'm going to self-haul.
There you go.
You're done. Unless you change your mind and want to have trash service, then you'll do another form.
I want to thank you. It was informative. Again, I'm opting out, so, you know, a lot of us were blowing steam out to the wrong people here. People have problems. They need to go to the state. They need to go to the county supervising meetings, you know, and
I always tell people if you have a problem, reach out to your representative. So
Exactly.
in this case, Assemblyman Holden in Pasadena, who represents us now, voted for this. So if you don't like it, please call his office and tell him. Holden, Holden.
In a receipt.
And I have all their contact information on my website.
And a receipt is not a hard thing to hang on to. We just keep a little like folder, you know, like you keep your money in or something, like you're going to the bank or something. Just put your receipts in there, man. It's real easy.
Yeah, and again, I am still working with the county to get them to get with the program that, you know, this is 2023. We should be able to scan a barcode and keep track of who's going to the dump
Yeah,
easily.
it's going to take a while with the county.
But the county moves very slowly.
Very, very slow. I know firsthand. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Chuck. I've been here a resident of 25 years. Has there been a cost efficiency of finding out, dividing this trash, what's that supposed to be doing for our environment and helping anything? Have they done anything the cost of how many more people we're going to have to hire to save money on the trash? That's not working. And then you're going to be increasing 3 times more the truck capacity on our highways and residentials, cost efficiency going into this. And this is supposed to make us cleaner and better? I cannot see any of it.
Well, can I tell you what the state would tell you, right? Because I think it's a fair question for people to say, well, wait a minute, we're trying to reduce carbon emissions, right? And carbon emissions are what comes out of these trucks. And what the state is trying to do is they're trying to reduce the amount of organics that go into landfill. And I know you're not going to like to hear this, but when you put organic material in the landfill and you deprive it of oxygen, it breaks down and it turns into methane. And methane seeps out of the landfill, goes into the atmosphere. And according to the scientists, methane has 85 times the heat trapping ability than carbon, right? So 1 molecule of methane is equivalent to 85 molecules of carbon. So when they look at putting more trucks on the street and emitting more carbon dioxide, they're looking at that and they're saying, yes, but we're keeping organics out of the landfill, so we're reducing more methane, and that has a greater impact on the heat trapping ability of this material. So that's what they're going to tell you in.
That's what they're going to tell you. We went through 2 years of COVID, and we already know what the scientists there in COVID can tell us as well. So, you didn't answer the question of finding the cost and the long run term of hiring more people, more trucks on the road, more trash cans that you got to make and manufacture, and you're going to have a person that's going to be walking along the side of the trash truck and inspecting the trash too, I take it, because you're saying that everything's supposed to be separated, but yet are you going to have somebody that's going to be out there flipping a lid and say, oh, there's a tin can in there with the plastic? On top of that, I have a question too, just like the other gentleman was saying. We're going to be fined anywhere from $400 a day up to $5,000 a day for people who leave garbage. And we have so many people in the county of San Bernardino, which is the biggest county in the country, and yet they're not going to be fined 1 penny. And we're going to be having to pay for their trash, which all they do is they acquire enough garbage to fill this room up in less than 3 or 4 months. And then all they do is get up and move a half a block down the street, and they do it again, and they do it again, and they do it again, and we get the bill. When are you going to start picking up these people and saying, you're a menace to society, you're going to have to clean this up themselves, instead of us paying for them to be absolutely useless?
So once again, I don't work for the state, I work for the district. And I lived up here and, you know, self-hauled my trash, all of that. This is what I like to say as far as the cost thing. The state doesn't care what any of these programs cost. They think that we're going to burn up and our planet is going to become inhabitable if we don't do this, right?
They think.
Right? This is what they think.
This is what they say, but it's not true.
They do not care what it costs or how it impacts anybody, because we have to solve the global warming problem, right? That's what they think. That's not what we think.
I understand that. The way it comes out in the long run is all they do is they want us to be taxed more money so that they can fill their coffers with money. And it really doesn't go back to the people. And the people that live out here know that they got squatters everywhere out here that pollute our deserts. And we end up paying the bill. And we get paid, we have to pick up their trash. And on top of that, we are still fined and our taxes keep going up. And
Yes.
nothing is done.
So as far as if you see illegal grows or squatters or illegal dumping, that's a county issue. You have to call code enforcement. County won't do anything proactively. You have to call them, and the more people that call them, the more they'll clean up those areas.
Okay, I'm going to give you one moment of something that happened to me several months ago. When I was down at the dump, I saw a person leaving the dump with the trailer on the back of his truck. As he was leaving, going down the road, he raised his bed up to dump whatever was left in the corner of his truck. So I went right over here to the police station. I took a video and a tape of the person, the truck, and his license plate number. When I went to the police station right here in Phelan, which is what, 4 blocks away from the dump, the dispatch person in that place told me I need to call Barstow. Then after I sat there and argued with her for 5 minutes, she says, call Barstow. So I called Barstow right then and there. Barstow says, well, why don't you call Phelan? And I had it on speakerphone. And then all of a sudden I says, well, here I have both of your dispatch places telling me that I have a guy that's dumped his trash on the city road, and neither one of them are doing their jobs. And then I had somebody come out from behind the wall, of course, and say, sir, you're making a little ruckus. And I go, no, I'm a concerned citizen that somebody's dumping trash on our road, and you're telling me that this person is just a few blocks away from here, that they have to go to Barstow to come out here to find out who's doing it what. And they didn't even take the person's license plate down. Neither one of them did it.
So illegal dumping is something that we all know is a problem, right? But here's the thing. I can catch people all day long on video illegal dumping, right? And you know, we have 2 officers at any given time that are covering Phelan, Pinion Hills, Wrightwood, El Mirage, Oak Springs Valley, Oak Hills, okay? There's a lot of crime that happens, and so if the police officer was available to take the report, right, which is probably why they're just trying to pass you back and forth because they're overwhelmed out here. If they did the report and they took all your evidence and they submitted it to the DA isn't going to do anything with it because the DA is overwhelmed with murder, rape, all of those high-level crimes, some of which we know aren't even making it that far. And so, yes, it's a crime, but they're not going to do anything about it.
So nobody's enforcing the laws that are on the books.
No, and we know that, you know, we see that all over the place.
So what happens when the citizens want to try to inform the laws?
Then you'll get in trouble, but you know that. So don't do that. Just take your pictures.
So we're going to just be a lawless state then, is what you're saying, because nobody can process.
I don't want to say that, but that as far as illegal dumping, it's super frustrating.
Well, all right.
It's very frustrating.
Yes, it is. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. But yeah, if you do see illegal dump sites, call the county. That way they get it on their list to clean up those parcels.
Okay, I got a question real quick. Jim Kirkman, United States Army, retired. I was just asked if they already have pickup service, can they still continue to go to the dump?
Yeah, you'll still have your dump card. So if you have your cans and let's say you're doing a yard cleanup and it exceeds your capacity, or it's Christmas time and you have a million Amazon boxes or whatever, you can still take that to the transfer station.
Okay, what in your opinion is considered, probably a dumb question, trash? Garbage? Recyclable? Organic?
Yeah, so
Okay.
we're gonna have a handout that goes out, and it's gonna give you a very comprehensive list of what goes in each can, because a lot of stuff that you're putting in trash is probably recyclable, right? Laundry detergent things, soda bottles, things like that.
Says who? That's gonna be in your letter.
Yes, and then, there'll be a list of what can go in the green can, which we've already said, normal quantities of manure. If you have a ton of horses, be a little bit different, we'll work with you.
Okay. Next question, do we have attorneys that are working on this for us, the people?
Yeah, so we've been working with this, and CR&R have lobbyists. CR&R pays a lot of money to try to get the state to not do stuff like this. It didn't work. This thing passed, 2018?
2016.
2016. And we've been out of compliance with it when it went into effect in 2022. So.
Okay, code enforcement, have you got a number for them?
Linda will look that up for you.
Oh.
If you want to go over there.
Okay. Because currently I do not have curb pickup. Am I going to get trash cans delivered to my place?
No.
And that depends on that meeting that we're going to go to?
No.
For the...
You're not going to get
We're not going to get, okay. All right, thanks.
And once again, the protest hearing is specifically about the rates, not about what's happening with this type of service. That's done.
It's done.
State's
done it. Everything is in place for it.
Still South
Hall.
If you want cans,
you can get them.
The
hearing is specifically about the rates, which for the basic service is not changing.
My name is Edward Etchepart. My question to you is, can you have both dump card and trash service?
Yes.
Do I have to come to your office to fill out the paperwork, or is that paperwork going to be sent to me out in one of your flyers?
Either or. So it'll be mailed to you, and you can return it via mail. You could bring it into the office. You can come into the office and fill it out if you lost it. We'll have it online. So there'll be a bunch of ways.
So there's other ways. I don't have to physically take off from work to go to your office.
No, you can do it on your phone. It's going to be very easy.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, I had one more question, because initially when I called, I wasn't, they weren't sure. So if people that are choosing not to self-haul, when are they going to find out what day of the week they have to have their cans out on the curb, or out in front of their property?
So if you already have service, the goal is to make it as seamless as possible. So if you already have trash service, we're going to shoot for having the same service day for all three trash cans. If you don't have service yet, that information will come when you get your cans, probably taped to the top of them.
Okay.
And again, we have our own customer service rep local now. So when you call, you're not getting somebody who doesn't know the desert or doesn't know the area we're from. You're getting a local person. So it's quick, easy. We'll be able to give you the answer right away. But that will come once you get the cans.
Okay, and then once.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm there all the time.
Once again, for those people that aren't going to self-haul, when are I'm not saying what's the first day, just by when's the final day that they're getting their new cans, if that's what they choose to do, because that also wasn't clear in the documents that we were sent. And when I called, they weren't sure.
The goal is to have everybody that wants the cans by January 1.
Yeah, so existing customers first are going to get the 3 levels of service, because that's easy. We already have a record that they're customers, and we're just going to be swapping out some cans. And then we're going to go through by cycle, and we're going to start collecting applications right away. And then we're going to go through by cycle and actually give out those cans. But it's going to take up to 6 months, because there's a lot of desert. We're 128 square miles, so.
So my question is, for those of us that want, because I'm going to self-haul, obviously. For those of us that want to go to the can system, we're currently not on that system. How are we going to transition? Like, are we just putting 3 different colored cans that we have, or we're just gonna wait till we get the cans to do it and continue to self-haul?
You'll sign up for service, so we're gonna start mailing out the applications, and then you can say, yeah, I wanna have CR&R, and you'll just tell us what type of service you want, and then they will bring you the cans when they're available. You can sign up now.
Right.
Like if you are tired of self-hauling and you wanna sign up now, you can.
And like we talked about earlier too, everybody's going to start getting the 3 cans now. So if you come sign up for service, we're not going to collect differently. It's all going to the same spot. But if you come sign up for service or you want service, you're going to get the 3 cans starting now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
We'll let you go, and then we're gonna take some Zoom questions.
Just one quick question. I'm a self-hauler, so I go now and I just dump everything. Am I still going to do that until January, or are you going to start separating us for then?
That's the county. Whatever they do at the dump over there, at the transfer station that Athens runs, that's the county.
Yeah, right now they're saying July 1. If you self-haul, you're gonna need to source separate at the transfer station, but they don't really know yet. They'll let you know, obviously, when you're going there, and you'll see the change in the operations. I talk to the county about once a week, so as soon as I know, that's the information we'll be putting out there.
They're pretty strict about that.
Yeah.
If you have just a little bag of leaves, they make you go back to
Oh yeah, I see it with our trucks. If we dump something and it's got something in there minute that's not allowed, we have to remove the whole load, so.
All right, let's do a Zoom question. Oh, 1 second. Yeah, eventually. All right, Amy? All right, we have iPhone on Zoom. Did you have a comment, question? Just unmute yourself.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. I do want to say that I appreciate the Zoom call, and I've been receiving the notices at my water bill, the flyers that you send, and I've been following that for at least, I don't know, a year, and then also got on the YouTube, so I've been watching the meetings there. And I do feel like it's a little bit of a shame that people don't care more about participating and, doing their part for global warming and climate change. I wish that there wasn't so much, unwillingness to participate. I am a senior. The cost rate change will affect me, so I will protest on that. The questions I have are, let's see. So if I'm currently receiving trash pickup, I don't have to do anything. I will receive those 3 new bins. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, good. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And then will the, let's see, I wrote this down. You already answered the manure question. I did speak with someone the other day, I think it was Evelyn, because my trash hadn't been picked up, but they eventually picked it up. It was just late. She said this wasn't happening. When I asked her when the 3 bins were coming, she said, oh, it's not going to happen for you until next year, that it's only a certain part of Phelan.
No,
so I don't know if her information, maybe she doesn't have all.
Yeah, maybe she meant it's not going to be collected separately until January 1 of 2024. But yeah, we're going to be rolling out. It's called a rollout, and like we talked about before too, there's a lot of moving parts to it. It's a logistical nightmare. So everybody's going to be getting their cans from now until January 1, 2024. But then come January 1 is when it will be sourced. It will be collected separately, and that's probably what she was referring to.
Okay, very good. Let's see, I did have another question. Lost my train of thought there. I do have an issue with the overflow of trash. I've made so many complaints. I have new people on the street, right across the street from me, and they have 3 bins, every day on Trash Bay, the lids are lifted because they're overflowing with trash. I pick up all the trash in front of my front property. None of it is mine. My trash doesn't seem to overflow out of my bins because I put the trash lid down. The street has become so dirty from their overflowing trash bins. I've made complaint. I know I've talked to you, Brandon. I've talked to, I don't know, several people at the district office there. And they tell me they're going to put a note on their fence and that it's, they're going to tell them if they keep overflowing their trash bins that they're not going to do pickup. So how is that going to be dealt with?
So right now, service with CR&R is optional. It's subscription based. And so the way we deal with people who don't pay their bill or who are burning down trash cans or overflowing trash cans is we just stop service. But starting in July, we can't stop service. The state won't allow that. And so that's when, you know, Linda will be going out there and talking to them about, hey, we notice every week your trash cans are overflowing, so perhaps you need to have one more can, right? So we'll give them an option to do that. And then if they just keep doing it, we do have some enforcement mechanisms that we can start using in July 1. Our goal is never to fine anybody or do anything like that, but maybe now that they know that they can get one extra container, it'll solve the overflow problem. So we do require that you do have the correct amount of cans for the amount of trash you have. So, I mean, you can't be leaving trash all over the desert next to your cans for dogs to get into, and obviously we don't want them overflowing. And, you know, if the containers, Brandon can speak to this, are overflowing, it's really hard for the truck to get it, and then the driver has to get out and clean up a mess, which that's all time and money, and we don't want that.
And they never do that. And, you know, a normal person would pick up their trash if it flows over, but these people don't, you know. So it's very, very upsetting, and they've never stopped their service. And it just, you know, it continues it's the same every week. So, you know, I don't know why people don't care about the way it looks, you know, where they live. Probably the same people who are opposing this, you know, this convenience of helping climate change and global warming and, you know, having three bins to separate the recyclables. I imagine it's the same type of people. But so I thought David said that if you are a self-hauler, because I kind of go back and forth, like if I can't afford the trash pickup, then I will stop service. And actually R&R has been very kind and let me keep the bins. But, you know, and then I go back on it. But I thought David said that if you are a self-hauler, they will also provide bins. Is that incorrect?
No, I think it's one or the other.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that a possibility?
No, you're going to have to choose. So either you're going to self-haul or you're going to have containers.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. And is there going to be a senior discount?
No, by law, when you have a mandatory service like this, you can't charge unequal rates for different demographics. That's race and age and all of that. So no.
Yeah, everyone else gives a senior discount so for different things. So that would be helpful. Okay, well, I do appreciate your time, and thank you. I appreciate the mailings, the flyers, and the water bill. I don't know, people, they like you said, they throw them away. There's so much information in there. And then they complain they're not being provided information when it's right there. So, yeah, people complain about a lot of things that they shouldn't be complaining about. All right, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
All right, Amy, who's next? Peter, do you have a comment or a question?
Yeah, I have a comment and two questions. The comment first, I've been actively following this for a while, and I'm just really grateful for all the work that staff has done. I mean, if you attended the first community meeting, self-haul was not happening, and I was going to have to pay an extra $600 a year for trash service. And now I still get to self-haul, and so I have to sort my recycling and I have to pull on the receipts. That's a far cry from what I was looking at before. So I'm really grateful for the staff and all the work that you've done to put this together. My questions, you may not know the answers, so I just want to ask them. One is regarding the transfer station. So I know this is potentially out of your purview, but do you know what recycling sorting is going to look like? Like, are we going to just put all the recycling together? Or are we going to have to separate types out when we go there?
Yeah, no clue yet. Still,
Peter. They brought up.
Wish we knew. Wish we had some sort of idea. And unfortunately, we've got no information from the county yet. Not even a timeline. So we don't know what it's going to look like. I've heard rumors like you're going to have it separated prior to arrival at the dump. That's pretty much that's the most in depth that I've got to it so far. I can't really give an answer to that.
Okay, that's fine. I was just curious.
Yeah.
The other question, I know there's been talk about bringing in compost bins for people who are composting at home. Is there any news on that?
Yeah, so we did budget on the solid waste side to provide some of those. And actually, the rest of you that are here today, we do have little countertop food buckets if you want one to take with you today. Yeah, we're going to be putting together a program kind of like we did with water conservation and giving out low-flow toilets. We'll be putting together a program to provide compost containers because if you composting is a way that you can not have to have your organics collected. You just get an extra recycle bin or trash bin instead. But yeah, Peter, we're working on it. We just barely got our budget approved, so.
Thank you.
All right, Mona?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time and information, and for also what Peter, I want to elaborate what Peter had mentioned, making sure that we can still take our trash to the dump. And so thank you for that, because I guess a lot of people don't know that that was almost taken away from us. Also, my question, well, it was pretty much answered by Peter. So thank you, Peter. I just didn't know, like when we go to self-dump, how we're going to separate the trash. And I guess you guys will send us some kind of flyer, or is that something that we have to pick up at the actual, the dump here?
Yeah, as soon as we know what they're doing, obviously we want to give you all that information. So we'll put it in probably our bills, online, of course. And then I would assume the county would provide that information at the transfer station, but I don't know what they're going to do. They might even put it with their dump cards that they mail out.
They already have separation.
Yeah.
Your electronics, you have your metals, your plastic, your plants, trees.
But eventually they're going to have to go to OCC separation, OCC, ONP, PET, HDPE, all your plastics, cardboard, paper, right? Then they're going to have an organics pile. It's going to be green waste and organics, depending on how they want to take that, right? Do they want their food waste bagged and then placed in the organics can? Those kinds of things, right? So that's the separating part that we're talking about, and it's going to happen.
Yeah, and so once we know from the county, we'll let you know. The county is supposed to be holding public information meeting on their side for their CSAs, so like Oak Hills, El Mirage, West Cajon Valley. They're going to be holding a meeting soon, and when I go to that, I'm hoping that they're going to have more information. But again, I meet with them almost weekly now, and so they're still, like us, developing exactly how this is going to look like. And if you are an Oak Hills resident, you're going to be paying a fee for your permit. They have a very long application. And if you're a CR&R customer, you're paying, what, $49 a month for the 3-can service. And we're staying right about $30. So.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Cheryl, you have a comment or question?
Hi. Yes, thank you. First, just to thank Kim for all the good work she's put in, so that we don't have, those who self-haul don't have to go through a permit process and are able to just fill out a form and send it in, it was going to be different. And I know you did that, Kim, so thank you for that good work. I have 2 questions for CNR, I think, and maybe 2 for you, and then a comment on the illegal dumping. For CR&R, I know we're going to be faced with having 3 trucks coming down the roads to pick up the 3 different cans, and that you're required to do monitoring to ensure that people are adequately or appropriately disposing of their trash, and that with after 3 warnings, you can fine people $35 a pop. CNR does have, on some of its routes in other jurisdictions, those fancy trucks that do it all in one. Are you down the road? Is it conceivable that our jurisdiction would have some of those trucks?
Yes.
And then I just thought I'd give you both questions at once, Brandon.
Okay.
But go ahead if you want to answer that first one.
I'll forget. Yeah. So the one that you're referring to is called a split body truck. It's a split body rear loader. We had without getting into too much depth, yes, we're pushing for it. We don't have it right now. That would be ideal so we can pick up recycle and organics both at the same time. It would be, I've been dreaming about it. So yeah, we want it, we need it. Eventually I think we'll have it. I just can't give a timeline then, but yeah.
Great. And then on the monitoring question, because the trash is going to be, even though we're going to be separating at our homes, and because for those first 6 months, all the trash is going in one, are you going to delay monitoring until January?
Yeah, the monitoring would be pointless and everybody be in trouble, right? If we're just picking it all up, we're yelling at you for doing it wrong, but we're throwing it all in the same truck. So yeah, no, we're not going to do anything like that. Don't worry.
Great. And then I think for Kim, on the application process for the self-haulers, is that going to be something that is more open-ended so that if people don't see that application in their mail for some reason, they can later on say, no, I'm a self-hauler, and not be pushed into CNR service if they don't want it? And likewise, if someone has CNR service and their financial circumstances change, will they be able to then go back to being a self-hauler if they choose?
Yeah, those are great questions. So you can definitely change your service type up. So if 6 months out of the year you like to self-haul because the weather's nice, self-haul. Just you have to let us know. And then if you want to have collection service, you would just do the application again and tell us what you want service-wise. We do not ever want to put bins on people's property because they have failed to tell us what they want. So after several mailings and phone calls, if we still can't get a hold of you, we're going to send Linda out there, and Linda is going to try to get you to fill out that application to tell us that you're self-hauling or that you need service. Now, at the very please don't shoot her. At the very end of implementation, if we just cannot get a hold of you and you're refusing to tell us if you're self-hauling or not, then yeah, you're going to be given containers. That's the worst case scenario. I know everybody out here is going to do the right thing and just fill out that form. Very easy that I want to self-haul. So, and we're going to make it easy. It's going to be online. It'll be mailed out to you. It'll be part of all of our new customers for water. So we'll just make it part of that application. Yeah, you can fill it out in the office, and this isn't going to start till July, so you'll just be getting those mailed out to you. Probably inside of your water bill if you're our customer, and separate if you're Sheep Creek. And of course, separate if you're a well customer. Well, not a customer, but you have a well.
All right, and then just one more comment for Kim. I hope when you bring back the ordinance revisions that there is a hard look at reducing the fines. I know you have to enforce it, it's required, and there needs to be some fines. Perhaps roll in some community service, you know, somebody in an orange vest and a stick at the park, if they can't afford the fines, but I'm just making that comment for you. And then a comment to the gentleman that was talking about illegal dumping in our area and really countywide and really countrywide. There are problems with the ability of the sheriff to enforce a fine or going after someone just because you had a video, even though it makes such common sense to us. And that involves the rules that the county council and the DA have to abide by in terms of what's accepted. Perhaps what we could look at down the road is the CSD facilitating a community meeting with reps from the Sheriff's Department and the DA's office so that we can have a further conversation about that and look at the possibility down the road of changing some of those standards so that they could accept pictures and videos when people have those, however rare. That's just a comment for the everybody there that's concerned about that issue. I share it with you. And thanks very much.
All right, thank you. Okay, there's no more hands raised on Zoom. Anybody else in person have questions or comments? And again, I don't know if you've called me before, but after the last meeting, I got a lot of people calling the office to talk trash, as we call it. So just call the office, ask for Kim. I'm happy to answer your individual concerns and questions. We're doing it all day long right now. That way we can get in kind of the weeds for your individual situation or concerns.
I have one more question.
Please use the podium, please.
My name is Edward Etchapar. I was confused because that gentleman over there said you had to choose self-haul or trash service. If you're paying for trash service and you told me that I could have both, how do I choose? Because I thought that was a little concerning to me when you said I had to choose. My choice is to have both. You said I only could have one or the other.
Yeah, you just can't go back and forth each week. You know what I mean? Like, you can't call and say, hey, this week I want to cancel my trash service because I'm going to the dump. You can go to the dump in addition to your service if you have service, or you can just go to the dump.
Okay, but that's where I was being confused. I have a dumpster. I've had a dumpster for as long as I was able to have a dumpster, which I'm going to be getting rid of because of the situation we're in now. So I was just a little confused when I got a different answer of what I was told.
Yeah, because like what Cheryl was talking about was CRNR just left the bins there, which they probably should have picked up when she would do a month or two without CRNR service and with self-haul, and then maybe she would go back to having CRNR service. But it's too logistically impractical for people to be switching their service out on something less than a monthly basis.
Now this is basically the same situation with oil collections. I don't know if everybody knows you can get money back for turning in your oil. I don't know if anybody knows that. You go to okay, you could bring your oil to AutoZone. For 5 gallons of oil, they'll give you $2. It's a state-run program, which a lot of people don't know. And this program's been with us almost 5-6 years. Okay, I've been almost arrested because I told AutoZone they had to take my oil if their tank is empty, and they had a program. They told me I was full of baloney. Hey, I made a big deal. I went all the way up to the state. The state runs programs, charge us for services. Then they don't want to advertise how to get your money back. So this is part of the frustration of the people is because we don't get all the information. I'm one of the very few who turns my oil in AutoZone and get money back. Those people just turn it in and AutoZone keeps it because the state runs a program. Our bottles and cans is the same thing. Like I said, they've just been reducing where you could take it. So the state has to understand we're a big county. You're saying you guys are trying. Yeah, we try. There's nothing we could do. Trust me. I've been part of the water deal for many years. I don't go to the water board meetings because Don Bartz does one of the best jobs we have here, so he doesn't need people complaining. But once again, I could give you examples about Zone L when we put wells in LA County, said we didn't have to pay for recharging, and then we get sued and we have to still pay it again. So the thing is, we're going to be jumping through all these hoops, which they keep changing the rules on us. That's my comment.
Hello, Gilbert here. I'm curious about recyclables and what does that include? That's my single question.
Yeah, so like
we discussed too, we're going to be we ordered a whole bunch of trifold pamphlets for our office, and then we're going to be sending all that info out as well. But just a general idea of what goes in that recycled barrel is going to be paper, cardboard, plastics, your glass, aluminum, and tin can.
That's everything.
That's why we're saying people are like, well, I got a lot of trash. It's like, well, you probably don't. You probably have 25% trash, right? Because the other stuff is either recyclable or organic.
Okay, because I was just wondering if it was just limited to CRV, but you say it includes all that stuff.
Correct. Absolutely.
Hey, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
we have one more Zoom.
It's an iPhone.
It's an iPhone.
Hi, yes. I just got a little confused because I thought you said it would be okay because I am on service. I also do sometimes self-haul because I have larger items. Last year, because of my fixed income, I did have to go off of pickup for 1 quarter, and then I went back on. Is that going to be a problem for me to be able to do that?
No, you can do that. We're saying that if you have CR in our service and you have extra trash, you can still go to the dump.
If you need
to
switch back and forth,
you're going to be able to do that, just not on a weekly basis.
Right, absolutely. I usually do it on the quarterly. And so will billing still be quarterly, or is that going to monthly?
Yeah, for residential,
it'll still be quarterly, and CR&R is going to continue to do the billing.
Okay, thank you. No more questions.
Okay, again,
call the office. It's
the main number
here, 760-868-1212. You can talk to me anytime about trash.
I don't
answer right away. I will call you back.
Thank you all for being here.
Anybody say anything?